Hi guys, hello, meet everybody. It's MicheleMarieDalene, and it's just about 9 o'clock in the morning here at the soup kitchen. And of course, today is our second attempt at doing a bcast at the soup kitchen. The first one, which was done yesterday, was touch and go. Didn't work quite as well as I liked, and that's why we're doing it again. Of course, that was yesterday. Today's today. Macadamia and cookie. It's still a little hard. That didn't change. Oh, okay. So, today we're going to talk briefly, of course, about the weather. Oh, that's my main job. It's the winter time. Here we go. Today's expected high is going to be about 5 degrees Celsius. And then tomorrow, the expected high is about 13 to 15 degrees Celsius. Well, it's going to rain all day. Then after that, the temperatures will drop again. For example, on Thursday, the expected high will be about 3 to 5 degrees Celsius. And then it'll start to go down on there. By the end of next week, we're going to see temperatures of 0 to 1 degree Celsius. Nothing really exciting, just the way it is. And then, of course, what else? See, I'm trying to think what else I got that. Oh, yes. I forgot. After tomorrow, I just want to get my hair done. And, I just love trying to do podcasts, like, in a place that's not even your home. You can reach as hell. Okay. Now, I got a phone call from J.C. Perry. I called them back up on the phone and made a deal with them, which I really don't think I can live with. I told them, they said to me, well, you owe us $121. I said, yeah, but why is it $121? Well, it's the late fee associated with it because you were 2 months behind. So, you charged me a whole nother month because I'm 2 months behind. So basically, you're owing me for 3 months of service. And I'm like, okay, how am I supposed to deal with this? Because the problem is that I don't have $121 laying around. Is it predatory lending? You bet it is. Even though I told them that I can't pay. I insist I pay them money I don't have. Okay, now, I don't think that's going to work. Not for me, anyway. Because I have to get some supplies at eBay, I had to suspend my satellite, or my Hulu and my Netflix accounts until a few months from now, so I can get some supplies I need at eBay. One of them happens to be the cancy eye drops, which is still on my I really need to get these things list. Now you gotta understand that I have to get my my ID card too, so that's gonna come out of my electric bill, and that's about $25. It's not really that bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. It's just, it's going to financially be a bit difficult to live like this. I can't stress enough that it's not easy to keep everything paid and still have anything left over. When I say anything, I read the budget report. I don't need to rehash it again. Because when you really think about what I'm really going to have left over this month, the budget report makes it look sweet. The reality is, it's going to be very problematic. You know, when I got those credit cards, okay, JCPenney included, I was on Section 8. My budget was under control, and now, of course, that's not the case anymore. And I really wish there was some way I could just straighten it out, leave them in good terms and say, okay, guys, look, like I did with Dish Network, because I never owed money to Dish Network. I always paid it in time. But, you know, I can't, because I owe them money. I owe them but $1,300, and I don't have $1,300 to pay them in full. There's no way. I can't even file for bankruptcy because I still don't make enough money. I don't have enough money to pay for bankruptcy lawyers. So, I've been asking your help. I know some of you guys have helped me in the past, but you guys have your own issues right now in life, and I can't expect all of you to maybe throw more than maybe a tenner in. You know, if you could throw a tenner in, that'd be great. I mean, 134 people. I mean, a tenner would be $13.40. You know, if each person threw in a tenner, that's all my JCPenney bill right there. Just get that out of my hair and get that thing done with. It's so easy. You don't take much to get the money. You can send it to me on PayPal. You can send it to me on Patreon. You can send it to me on GoFundMe. You can mail me a money order. It's so easy, $10. Come on. For about the price of, depending on which Starbucks you go to, you know, for about the price of 2 to 3 Starbucks coffees, you can send money to somebody that could help get somebody out of the hole. I don't ask you for much. Really. If you can't send 10, how about sending 1? How about sending 2? How about sending 5? You can send more than 10? Great. Accept that too. In fact, we need to do so much work in the studio around here that we need money. We need help. We need your help, assistance. Is Dory still planning to move in with me? Yeah, it's still in the planning stages. We haven't really got much more than that. I talked to Dory about my bill about JCPenney yesterday, and she says, no, don't give them your electric bill, because otherwise you're going to be sitting in the dark. It's bad enough now that your electric bill is always so high. We try to calculate exactly how many kilowatts every hour we use, because they give me the daily rate. It was like 16 kilowatt hours per day. But you have to figure out what is that every hour. And on the hourly, it's not really that bad. It's about 2/3 of a kilowatt hour, or 0.666 kilowatt hours every hour. Okay, and that's pretty good. I mean, it saves a lot of money. But something to think about. You know, I gotta get my. If I can't get the concierge service this month, and it's possible, I might just go ahead and get some other things coming up for this month. I mentioned those 3 hard drive cases that I have. I only have 2 right now outside the package. They need hard drives, and I'm thinking about giving them a try with some decent Seagate hard drives. And that's what I'm thinking about. And that's going to enjoy a good hard drive, right? Oh. By the way, I know, eating cookies on camera is not very professional. But I'll be honest, I'm a little stressed, okay? I'm stressed because I don't have a long-term answer. If for some reason Dory and I don't work out, we'll be in together. This is going to really, really be very painful for me. Because, I mean, she can't afford her own apartment on her own. She doesn't make enough. Literally discussed her budget on the air many times. I can't make it on my own anymore, because when I was Section 8, I mean, I had extra money left over so I could pay off my, enjoy the credit cards and things like that. Now I can't. What I want to use, I want to go for renters rebate this year, and what I'm going to do is I want to use whatever it got and give that to First Premier Bank and pay off the First Premier Bank credit card. That would mean that there'll be one less bill to pay each month. And then say maybe if Dory was living with me, I could work on sending some additional money to the other credit card, such as the JCPenney. But JCPenney, by the time Dory moves in, is going to probably be in collections. So I'm not sure if I'm going to change my phone number or not. I don't think I would have changed my number because I had my home phone number since the beginning of time. And I really don't want to have to pay extra for an unlisted number, because I have family that I put it in the phone book specifically so that they could reach me. And, no one has ever done that. Mom and dad, or in this case, mom, brother and sister. The number is in the Winstead phone book, and you can find it there. And you can call me there at that number, and you know you can. I've made it easy. Now, one of the things Dory want to tell me is that she would like to move down south. And I went, well, how south do you want to go? And she's saying, maybe North Carolina. Maybe Virginia, West Virginia. I said, well, I don't know if that would work out for me. Because you're going to have to pay for the moving truck. She has a driver's license, so she can drive, so she's a few steps ahead of the game. Well, we still got to pay mover's truck or a truck rental from some sort. Then we have to get a couple of strong people to carry things like my console TV and put that in the truck. Then you got to go ahead and make sure, before that, you have to make sure you have a place to go in the first place. Which means you got to pay that landlord his security deposit, his first month's rent. Then, since if you're going on a state, each utility is different. Some require a security deposit for electric service and gas service, and some don't. So you have to figure that in. And of course, your movers are going to want to get paid something to do the work. If it was by myself, I would have had to call something like Amodio or Mayflower, or maybe even United Van Lines, or maybe even Lippincott, if they would do it within a short distance move within a few states. And I came up with the numbers. For example, they wanted to go to Florida. Lippincott said, oh yeah, we can move you to Florida. It'll cost you about $1,000. And then you got to pay the truck driver in a money order or in a check. And preferably a money order, so it'll clear. In case there's no problems, stuff like that. Yeah, I said to Dory, I said, hey, how about moving to East Heartland? She said, what the hell's out there? I said, well, for one thing, when my parents lived there, and my relatives that still do live there, is they got all the free TV they want. Because all they have is a rooftop antennas on the roof, and they just got a rotor box, and they can turn the antenna anywhere, and they get direct TV from even as far away as Rhode Island. And she's like, yeah, but things changed. I said, yeah, they changed, but I don't know if they would tell us to stop from getting all those TV channels, because I used to get so many of them. So yeah, it could be, but I don't know. I'm starting to feel like the woman who does the song Those Were the Days. remember the days. How's it go? Na 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 na. No song. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Those were the days when I was young. Yeah, that's also one done by Frank Sinatra too, but it's a different song that I'm talking about. But the story's not much different. When I was a kid, we had more fun. Things suck. And they do suck. And they suck because of a couple different reasons. Number one, a lot of the so-called upper crusties are the elites, the super elites, want to take control over everything you do. Everything. Okay? And when I was younger, of course I was a kid too. It was also a time of the 1980s and late 70s, early 80s, Reaganomics and everything else. And it was a lot of fun. But don't forget, some of the stuff was because I was a kid. I didn't know the adult world issues until I became involved in business, accounting, and school and stuff like that. And then I started to get the real hardcore education about the real world. But I remember very much as a kid enjoying East Heartland because I could turn my TV on in any room, even with just a pair of rabbit ears, and I could watch anything I wanted, and I didn't have to worry about having to worry about paying for a cable subscription. They got cable now up there, but they don't need it. They got good reception as it is because they're so high up in the mountain. As far as what Dory said, is what the heck is it to do out there? I can't go to Primetime House when I'm out there. I said, well, Dory, you're not going to go to Primetime House if you go to North Carolina either, so. That's true, she can't. She can't. She said, I die of boredom out there in East Heartland. There's nothing to do. I have to agree with her there. East Heartland, honestly, is not for people unless you're kind of like John Denver and Rocky Mountain High. Okay, you're used to that kind of quiet environment, where you can feel almost like the sun and the breeze and the grasses and the trees and the forest and all that nice stuff and the soft patting of the snow in the wintertime and maybe having a nice, quiet, contemplative life. That's East Heartland for you. But if you're going to be living out there and if you want to be in the pulse of life, in the cities, and that's who you grew up in, East Heartland would be the worst thing for you. It would be hell. I happen to grow up in East Heartland, at least for the first 6 years of my life, and it still does make an impact on my life. And then, of course, we moved to New Hartford in 1976, and 77, and we've been living in the largest community ever since, which I don't really have a problem with New Hartford, except the fact that the rents are ridiculous and that there's even less affordable than Winston. I got a feeling East Heartland ain't cheap either, considering the fact there's really no apartments in East Heartland. At least none that I know of. One of the things that Dory says, she likes Winston, but she says that Winston has very little to do. I said, well, that's because most of the fun stuff to do doesn't open up until the spring, such as RB Sports World. If they're still around, I heard they're not, but I don't know. Okay, if they are, we'll go to it this summer. And we do plan to go duckpin bowling again, and I didn't get a chance to mention that. I did mention it yesterday, but unfortunately, that broadcast didn't come out quite as well as I wanted it to, and so I ended up basically just throwing it away. But basically, here's the short and skinny. The situation is that, okay, duckpin bowling was more of a regional thing. It never kind of caught on throughout the rest of the country. And the equipment for duckpin bowling is not being produced by any of the main bowling companies. AMF, Brunswick, and Bowmore do not make duck pin sitters. And there only was one company that made duck pin sitters. And guess what? They haven't been making parts since 1973. They're out of business. And so that means basically almost like every duck pin alley is almost like looking for cadavers of old equipment that they can get the pieces they need from the machines from. And some of the equipment is being held together very much like a lot of the Eastern European countries were under prior to under the communist government, where everything's being held together by spit and chewing gum and thread. It seems to be working, but I know that a lot of the duck pin alleys really wish that they could get some new gear instead of having to use equipment that is so old and cantankerous and not that high tech by any stretch of the imagination. I'm surprised that Brunswick, EMF, Bowmore, which are all under the same company now, don't go ahead and create a duck pin setting machine. I know what they're gonna say is, but it's such a small it's such a small market. Yeah, but is it really that small of a market? I mean, there's more market for candle pin than duck pin. For those of you who don't know what candle pin is, it's those big, straight, long pillar pins. Those are the candle pin ones. In the video I showed you from the duck pin bowling, I showed you briefly a candle pin and a standard 10 pin and a couple different variations of duck pins after that. And so there was this evolution of these bowling games. By the way, if you want to enjoy old school bowling, and I mean old school, how about 1908 school, you can go to Holler House in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They are the last remaining Pro Bowling Association lane, the oldest one, still sanctioned. It was made in 1908. It has never been mechanized at all. It's still human operated, with human pin sitter people, but the pin boys that feed the racks and put down the pins. So they do kind of use a little bit of convenient help jig to set the pins up. And it's 2 lanes, and it's really cool. The alley was built when the building first opened up since the beginning. Another place is called South Park Bowling Lanes, which is a 4-lane bowling alley in Chicago, Illinois, that also has pin boys. This difference is between the two is Holler House is the oldest, and the South Park. South Park? No, it's not South Park. Southport. I'm sorry. Southport was originally built by the Schlitz Corporation, and originally was operated as a speakeasy many years ago. And then, of course, it was updated a little bit and still looks kind of contemporary, but it doesn't have any kind of pin setting machinery. Other than the same kind of, they have a B10, which is the same kind of similar jig to what they have in the Holler House to help set the pins in place. But that's it. There's a human man behind those pins who puts the pins into the rack and then also returns the ball to you by placing it on a, there's also another one, there's a third one, which is an Elks Club in Pennsylvania, same deal. very interesting history we're talking about here. Now, I'm not a bowling aficionado, but I'm just saying this is what I'm finding out from doing some research into a couple different things, because after all, I like to come on camera with some knowledge of what I'm talking about so that I don't look like a total doofus, and that's not always easy to do, because sometimes I still screw up just like everybody else does. So, in the case of the Laurel Lanes, if that equipment becomes unavailable, what are they going to do? Well, could they, for example, get a 10-pin setter and put that in place of, because I talked to the owner, he says that it's the same lane size, same gutter size, same ball size. Originally he said there was at least one full-size bowling lane in there for 10-pin many years ago. And obviously, he said the problem is it's really tight. He said, I don't know how we would have managed to squeeze all that stuff in there. They would have to carry the stuff over the bowling lanes, which, of course, is going to make a mess of the lanes. But, well, Shakita the guy not, you do with what you got to do. Okay? Maybe they put the pin setters in first. No. What? Because they couldn't, because they had to put the lanes down first. Okay. Whatever. Anyway, but still, if the option, if it comes to that, I'm sure the owners of the Laurel Lanes are already planning this ahead of time. Or maybe Brunswick, A&F, or Bowmore may decide to make modifications to their main machines to allow the duck pinners, bowling companies to still remain in operation, regardless of equipment. By the way, here's an interesting note. This has been said. You cannot pay. It's extremely rare to nearly impossible to play a 300 game in duckpin bowling because the pins are so small, the ball is so small, and that it's almost hard to hit such a small target. Okay, I'll give you that from personal experience. Yes, it is. Also, don't forget the pins are smaller, but the ball is smaller too. I had a wicked idea. Oh, God. Well, you know how they have the concept of a chicken and a turkey and a duck, or just duck and a chicken, a duck and a chicken and a turkey, right? I know what you're talking about. Well, what about a variation where, duck 10-pin? What? What would that do? Well, basically is you use, standard duck 10-pin ball pins, but you use a duck pin bowling ball. You're saying it's hard enough now to get a 300 game in duck pin. That'd be one of the most aggravating games ever because the ball is so small and so light. It's about the size of a boat you out. I know what it is. It's size of about the size of a large softball. Okay. But a little bit heavier and, of course, harder. So, yeah, still. But that wouldn't help the people who run the alleys because of the fact is that all of these alleys that have duck pin setters can't get their parts. It's not going to be an issue of setting the pins. I mean, dealing the ball return. For most of them, it's going to be setting the pins. So those people are going to be extremely uncomfortable with the fact is that they can't set the pins. I mean, they can go back to doing by hand, but that's going to cost money. It's going to cost money. There is a couple alleys that do them by hand in duck pin because for the variety of reasons that we've already mentioned, such as the sad truth that there is no commercially available equipment for new bowling alleys to grow up to use. So those people have had to find ways to deal with that. And there is a small duck pin lane. It's kind of like a historical piece, but it's a real full lane. Has a human pin setter at it in It's in Massachusetts area. I think it's in Worcester. No, I think it's Pittsfield. I think no, not Pittsfield. Oh, we'll figure it out. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah. Really interesting. All the changes in the game and stuff like that. And also there's a lot of bowling aficionados that are liking to experiment with things like bowling at home, both in half scale pin sizes and also in full scale, with some modifications obviously for lane. Some of them are also using pin sitters from bowling alleys. So it's really kind of interesting to see a couple of Brunswicks and AMF machines being used in home bowling alleys. But the thing that's kind of cool is that there's an open source software available for Linux and Windows called OpenScore. If you happen to be having a personal bowling alley and you want to have a scoring system similar to like the big boys got, here's your chance. The software is available, as I said, for Windows and Linux, and it's open source, and it lets you set up so you can keep your own score sheets electronically. It's cool. That's cool. When we were bowling on Sunday, me and Dory and Julia and Lumi could have used something like this to it shows us the pin positions that need to be fixed and all that. And it would have been really great if the bowling alley had access to this technology, or maybe knew about it. Maybe they don't know about it, but still, that would mean a Linux machine for every single session. Now with Linux, no, because Linux you could have a single computer, and it just, I don't think he's going to go into that. That's just not something I think he wants to go with as the owner of Bowling Lane. He's got enough problems right now just trying to keep the games running. I don't think he wants to deal with having to throw computers on top of it. Okay, I'll give you that. Okay. Now, why don't you tell them what your plans are for this month? Because you didn't get a chance to tell me, sir, because... Right, okay. Well, I have to get the, my ID card. I'm going on my case manager on the 8th to do that. Okay? And so, I gotta get my ID card. And then, that's gonna cost $25.50. I was gonna take that out of my electric bill. Okay? Because I need that card, because otherwise I'm not gonna be able to go to the polls in the primaries. And I want to go, and I want to vote, and I want to be a part of the election system. So, and then of course after that, I have to make an appointment, or Crystal and I are going to go down and do the blood work for Dr. Lemmy Bio's office, around a couple of days in February. Yeah. Embolic. Yes, embolic. Groundhog Day. Let's just start with that too. We'll get to that in a bit. So we're gonna do the blood work, and then I'm gonna go on appointment with Dr. Lemmy Bio. And it's all of these things like this that can make my life really, really difficult. But with your help, we can make it. Now, okay, why did I mention Embolic for? Well, Embolic on the 11th, which is Limmy's birthday. That's right. The winning, Winnipeg, this is Winnipeg, Canada, Prairie Rescue had a groundhog. And on Friday she passed on. And they were supposed to have their Groundhog Day celebration and they had to cancel it because of that reason. And when I saw that in Fox News, or actually it was on the Weather Channel, I said, that doesn't sound like a good omen. Of course we'll never see her shadow. But I'm like, does that mean that since she left this earth before Embolic, does that mean now that we're going to have a long, cold, hard winter? Or does it mean we're going to have a mild winter? I don't think it's going to be a mild winter anyway. I think it's going to be a hard winter because of the fact that we already see it snowing, or did snow in Vietnam. That's right, Vietnam, at about 18.5 degrees north latitude. That's not too much. That's near Miami in latitude, I think. That's ridiculous. What about buffalo dying? The crops are dying. People are dying. Okay? And at the same time, we were having snow again over here. And so, like Adapt 2030 said, he said that things are just going to get colder a lot faster than it was expected. Yeah, that's true. Who's the weather steward for Vietnam? I don't know. That'd be the Asian steward? Or is it Tanaya? I don't think it's... Could it be Tanaya? No. Yeah, I think it would be in Tanaya's area, I think. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure either. But whoever you are, please be aware that not everybody in your district is ready for the worst. Okay, I know you like snow and everything, but some of you of your subjects are not prepared for 20 centimeters of snow, which isn't really a lot. And it's for a place that never got snow before. That's a lot. At least never got recorded in recorded history. Same thing with Taipei, Taiwan. Same system, same basic thing. Lots of snow. People in Taipei were ill prepared for that too. Okay, same thing with mainland China. All these areas are seeing very unique weather behaviors that are, causing some hardships for everybody in mind. That's the reasons I try to, keep the needs of my people in mind at all times, and things like that. All right, now the last piece of news. Now this is, I just got this fresh off the press this morning, so this may change by the time you get this. Okay, they say that Ted Cruz is in the lead for the Republicans and for Iowa, and Donald Trump lost out in the Iowa caucus. It's funny how when you talk about Bernie Sanders versus Hillary Clinton on the Democrat side, because Hillary Clinton is and him are tied. Okay, so Bernie Sanders is asking for a recount because they got to break a tie. And I don't know how that's going to go, but I've got a feeling that since the Illuminati want Hillary Clinton to win, they're going to make sure she wins, no matter what. Bernie Sanders can go pound sand as far as they're concerned. He's not going to get it. But he's a socialist too. But they want her as president of the United States. So Bernie Sanders is going to have a really hard time getting the Democrats to go to him, especially when the uber elite, the Illuminati and the Bilderberg group and Davos group are going to be backing Clinton. So if that's the case, however, if for some reason Hillary Clinton is indicted for her email situation, then by default it's going to go to Sanders anyway. Not necessarily. I heard that they might put John Kerry in. What? This is getting crazy. Yeah, I know it is. That's why I don't really follow the Democrats too much, because it's enough to make my head hurt. But that's it for now. That's where we stand of all the news, and hopefully this time the broadcast came out fine. And please do remember that if you got a tenner, if you want to, send us a 10 spot, we can use it to put, of 134 of you guys, if everybody put in a 10 spot in this donation, we could actually pay off JCPenney in full. That'd be cool, yeah. And then after that, we'll have less worries about trying to keep things done and things like that. So this is easy enough to do. I will put the contact information at the end of this video, and you can go ahead and make your donation. And I appreciate your help in advance. And as I said, if you can put more than 10 in, that's fine. You can only put in 5, that's fine too. I will accept 5. I'll accept 1. I don't know what the minimum available funds is. If you are from outside of the United States, you can make a donation through my PayPal. I think GoFundMe and Patreon also allow donations out of state, out of the U.S. So, yes, you can make donations to that too. And for now, we'll talk to you soon. Don't forget to, I'm going to say it again, stay safe, stay wide, and stay warm. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody. Hey, did you know there's a lot more going on right now at our websites? Are you watching all 4 of them? If not, check them out. There's a list right here. We got 3 YouTube channels and 1 audio-only channel for your enjoyment. So come on and dig in and see all the stuff we do here at the North American Snow Queen Palace.